All right, let's get going. I'll let people come and join in as they turn up. I'm actually going to stop my video just so we can just fully focus on the presentation itself. So, welcome to my presentation of why hormones are the #1 reason you can't lose weight. You're going to be glad that you tuned in tonight. If you tried a number of different types of diets but only have limited success, maybe Weight Watchers, Slimming World, the Cambridge diet, Herbalife, the list goes on, there's endless out there. You're in the right place. If you think that your hormonal issues related maybe to menopause, or maybe you've got thyroid issues going on, if you think that's the reason why you're unable to lose weight, you're in the right place as well. We're going to cover why it's so important to balance 3 particular hormones. If an injury or pain stops you doing the exercise that you think would enable you to lose the weight, you're also in the right place. And we'll cover why you can lose weight without doing any strenuous exercise at all. So if you're here to learn anything else about coronavirus or other issues going on in the world at the moment, this is not quite the webinar for that. We're going to stay to more useful, valuable content tonight. Okay, so I like to lay out at the start of the presentation what my core values are in life, because I know that if you resonate with the majority of these, and I hope most of you on this webinar would, because you're most people that I know, then we're going to have mutual respect for each other and we're going to get along just fine. So I believe family is my highest value. That's the great thing about this isolation period at the moment is we're all being able to spend more time with our closest family members, and hopefully that's building some bonds for some of you that are listening tonight. Health is hugely valuable, and another great time to double down on health. Maybe you need a little bit of help with that, hence why you're on the call tonight. I believe we need to be honest. We have a passion for learning and growing. And again, you're spending your time learning and growing tonight. It's another great time to do that. There's lots of establishments that are offering fantastic courses for free at the moment. I feel like we need to be able to share information, be vulnerable. I believe in the value of community and having fun. So hopefully all of you on here are going to resonate with most of that list, because you're unlikely to be somebody who displays particularly unhealthy traits. These kind of people can continue with their the takeaways, fizzy drinks, late nights, hoping that their doctor will patch them up once they're broke, and with a pipe dream that they might lose weight someday, all the while continuing to eat like their third takeaway meal of the week. Whereby you being here, you consider someone who values their health much more highly than that. You've taken the time to join me tonight, so you're clearly someone who wants to take ownership and move their health in the right direction. Besides, if this current pandemic is teaching us anything, it's that those who feel like they have good health and are in control of their health that are staying calm and being least affected. It's well known that health can't be prescribed by your doctor. In fact, there's no drug on the market that can take a healthy human being in the direction of further health. Apologies about the pauses at the moment. I'm still admitting more people to the meeting tonight. So I'm assuming that everybody here wants to live their best life and wants to be able to pass this information down to their younger generations. One of the things that I'm most proud of is the knowledge that I've gained from being pretty obsessive at times, learning as much as I can about health, our human body, and is that I can pass this information down to my 2 sons. Providing they live a life, primarily in tune with how nature intended, I'm confident that they're gonna stay well and live a life that's true to themselves. And they'll also keep their metabolism will stay strong in their later years, bar maybe an accident or an injury through no fault of their own. But we also want to be able to eat our favorite foods, go to our favorite restaurants, and not worry the effect that it's going to have on our weight. That's the level of confidence our clients are starting to have. They understand how metabolism works and how they can indulge here and there, providing they bring things back into balance again shortly afterwards. And what a great time to start a journey towards better health. That healthier, slimmer you. One that has a better relationship with food and honors their body rather than fighting against it. I'm sure some of you have reflected upon what you want your life to be, maybe in 5, 10, and even 20 years' time during this period of isolation, with the increased time to reflect that's presented itself. We know from hundreds of studies that decreasing your weight size, your BMI, and your blood pressure will add precious, healthy years to your life to spend with your grandchildren and other loved ones. That's exactly why dozens of our members are doing right now. Okay, these are things I want for each and every one of you on this call tonight. I want you to all fall back in love with your body again. I want you to feel great in your clothes. I want you to have more confidence. And I want to give you the opportunity to lose 10 to 30 pounds of weight in the next 6 weeks. You know, I feel it's my mission in life to empower as many people as possible to take control of their own health. And I'm privileged to have the opportunity to do that for you tonight. Some of you will have different desires from the ones in the list, and that's perfectly normal. These are some of the just most common ones that I hear people want when I work with them, particularly in regards to weight loss though. I'd love to know if you have any other health goals that you'd love to achieve over the next 10 to 12 weeks, please do go ahead and type these in the chat box. I'd like to know what your individual goals are, and I may well be able to cover, how to get closer towards these goals during the presentation at some point. And if not, there'll be time for Q&A at the end. So my promise to you over the next 40 minutes or so, I'm going to dispel some of the myths around metabolism and some of the things that you see in the media and magazines that simply do not work, like the calories in versus calories out. That just simply doesn't work. Why exercise isn't necessary for weight loss, and why breakfast maybe isn't the most important of the day. You'll also understand why your body is holding on to its fat stores, and we're going to go into the different body shapes that link to different hormones in the body as well. So some of you will be listening will be concerned about the longer term health consequences of being overweight, maybe the pressure on your joints, your knees, perhaps your cholesterol levels, or the issues your mum and dad go through with their health. Others will feel the frustration of not feeling attractive to your partner or potential partner. Many people tell me they just don't like the way they look, and the thought of getting into a bikini or a swimsuit this summer causes anxiety for them. Everybody has their own reason for why they want to lose the weight and why it's important for them to do so right away. And I think that's really important, actually, to reflect on your why. Why is it that you want to lose weight? Everybody kind of candidly just says, I need to get rid of this. But, really think about why. What is your real strong why that you want to lose weight for? And maybe make a note of that yourself. If you're willing to share that with me, pop it in an email. I'd love to know what your real why is for being here tonight and for, wanting to lose that weight. I'd also like to know your dreams and desires. Is it to fit in a particular dress that you love? Is it to be able to walk freely with your dog without your joints feeling overloaded and achy? Perhaps you dream of looking in the mirror and, feeling sexy, being proud of how you look. Some of you simply want to have a better level of health as you approach retirement. I hear that a lot as well. Whatever your fears and frustrations are, I understand. I hear stories like these, most days from the clients and members that I'm working with. And it's very common to have weight issues that are stopping you from living the life that you want. What I want you to know is that it's not your fault. The real problem is that no one has taught you how to manage your hormones through what you eat, when you eat, and other lifestyle practices that bring our hormones and our nervous system into balance. You've probably been influenced by huge marketing budgets that food businesses have to consume foods that may not have been serving you on a regular basis. And this stuff works on our subconscious. So we're not even aware that it's triggering us to influence our behavior and our actions. Most of you know me already, but for some of these people that are going to watch this presentation who maybe don't, my name's Dan Trussler. Here's my beautiful fiance, Holly, and my two mischievous sons, Teddy and Bowden. I've been a registered osteopath for over 7 years, and I've been trained in functional medicine for the last 3 years, helping dozens of people reclaim their health over this time. In the last year, I've trained and mentored a GP who joined our clinic as a functional medicine doctor. And just this year gone, a different GP has joined our program to rediscover her health. You see, they just don't learn this stuff when training as a doctor. It's all about knowing which pills to give people. What I've learned in helping people overcome thyroid issues, autoimmune issues like colitis, rheumatoid arthritis, is that when you improve someone's level of health, their weight starts to change. And this could actually happen in either direction. I've had people that have gained weight through becoming healthy. Your body starts to know what the ideal weight is for you. We just have to balance your hormone and nervous systems to allow it to reach that weight. We've applied these exact same principles to Holly after the birth of both of our sons. And, she's very naturally and without really much effort returned to her size 10 body size, after both pregnancies without, as I said, without much effort at all. So what I've learned is that it's the fundamental lifestyle skills that make the biggest difference in people's journey back to health. And that's what I'm going to teach, over tonight and covering more detail through the Metabolic Reset program. It's led me to believe in this phrase, health begins at home. I wasn't born with this belief. It's developed over many years of studying the body, applying health principles to thousands of patients, and learning from other naturopaths, acupuncturists, and doctors who approach health looking for the root cause. Most people think all you can do pretty much is eat your 5 a day, exercise, and hope you'll be okay. If that was all it was about, people would just have to read a couple of books, look at a couple of articles on the internet, and they'd get it all done. But it's simply not that simple. The first step to reclaiming your health is to reset your hormones. If you've tried reducing what you eat and exercising more, maybe you lost a few pounds here or there, but usually it often comes back on, and maybe even more so. These people who struggle with their weight usually have hormonal imbalance and not a calorie imbalance. So trying losing weight from this situation, just using calories in versus calories out, is like pushing a car uphill. So hormones are driving most of the things in your body. They are just too powerful for your willpower. Most people have hormones that are out of balance, and you don't have to have mood swings or hot flushes for your hormones to be out of whack. That's the culmination of many years of imbalanced hormones. Hormones vary throughout the day and through each month. So some of you might resonate with the one of the pictures here. These are all different types of body fat accumulation that happens with different hormonal levels. So the lady on the left here, largely accommodated around the abdomen, that's to do with excess adrenal and cortisol hormone. Any ideas on the B or C or D here? Anybody got any ideas what hormonal imbalances might be related to any of those body shapes? Please do type them in. And our hormones vary throughout the day and even throughout the month. So, the solution isn't just to take a snapshot in the blood and see what the hormone levels are in the blood and then trying to micromanage those levels. It's a bit like taking a picture of you in the morning and, does that really show how your whole day's been? So this first one, as I mentioned, this is the adrenal body type, excess cortisol, and the symptoms associated with this type of presentation is fatigue, insomnia, red cheeks, an anxiety, a feeling of stress, weak or brittle bones, a moon or round face, acne, poor skin, salt, cheese, chocolate, and sugar cravings later in the day. Needs a coffee to wake up in the morning. Dark circles around the eyes, inflammation or pain in the joints, the back and the neck, heel spurs, fibromyalgia, pit and edema, out of breath from climbing the stairs, possibly an overactive immune system, autoimmune issues, moodiness, irritability, brain fog. Buffalo hump at the back of the upper back, and diabetes and blood sugar imbalances. Now, you don't necessarily have to have all of these, but these can be linked with an adrenal body type. The second one, I don't know if anybody guessed it in the chat. Let's have a look. This is the ovarian body type and linked with excess estrogen. This is when you tend to gain weight in the hips, thighs, and buttocks. Sometimes this is linked with the history of PMS, ovarian cysts, problems with the cycles, cycle brain fog, pain in the knee at different times in the cycle, low back pain, lack of libido, hot flushes, night sweats, dryness, acne, mood swings, menstrual bleeding, constipation at certain parts of the cycle, and thinning of the hair. Then we come on to the third type, and this is low thyroid hormone. This is tends to be, again, fatigue, unexplained weight gain, cold intolerance, brittle nails, puffiness around the eyes, again, brain fog, depression, dry skin, high cholesterol, loss of libido, lower motivation, constipation, thinning of the outer eyebrow, a morning headache that gets better as the day goes on, hard time starting and completing tasks. So the last one, where you get this kind of pot-bellied approach, this is the liver type. Often can be associated with bloodshot eyes, skin problems, be it feeling bloated after you eat, reflux, constipation, stiffness in the low back, right shoulder pain, irritability, stiff joints, dark urine in the morning, hot feet at night, hemorrhoids, intolerance to fatty foods, gallbladder issues, headaches, high cholesterol, high blood sugars, high blood pressure. As I said, not all these symptoms are going to be associated with everyone. And, you can be a different mix of different types. But I mean, certainly as you go around now, you can start to make some guesses as to people in your life that might be suffering from one of those different hormonal imbalances. So I wanted to introduce you to Louisa, who, as you can see here, she came experiencing low energy levels. She really had a desire to want to exercise, but just couldn't push herself through it. So she's an adrenal case study. That first body shape. She had disrupted sleep pattern, irregular digestion. She actually has celiac, up and down mood. And, was really quite frustrated with her weight. You see, your body holds on to fat under stress. This links in with the cortisol imbalance. It's a survival mechanism. If you're constantly under threat from a predator, your body's not going to give up its energy reserves easily. It doesn't know how long it's going to have to run away and flee for. So instead, it will give you cravings for quick boosted energy stores like sugar. We'll explain why that messes with another hormone, insulin, shortly. You probably all can relate to this situation. You have an argument with a loved one, and the next thing you know, almost unconsciously, you're heading back to the chocolate cupboard for the fourth time. This situation is a bit like when you're rushing around your house because you're running late for maybe like an overnight stay or something. You need to get out of the house. You're frantically packing your bag, but the things that you can guarantee you won't leave are your keys and your phone. And they're like your fat cells, particularly around the abdomen. So the solution for Louisa was to balance her insulin resistance, reduce the exercise levels initially. And as I said, the program that we run, we have no exercise included in it whatsoever. Basically, you need to bring your lifestyle in line with your desired outcome. Most people are kind of pointing to the left with their hopes and dreams, but really they're driving to the right with the lifestyle that they lead. And, it's not all their faults. A lot of the time, you don't even realize what you should be doing. But insulin is one of those major controlling hormones that we talked about with the sugar. So let's talk a little bit more about insulin, because as we know, it's linked with diabetes and pre-diabetes. And let's think of it like a traffic controller. Okay, so it basically is going to say stop to any fat being used as a fuel in your body. And it's going to say go to sugar, or more accurately, glucose, which is what the body breaks it down into. And it's going to say go to the glucose, and it's going to park the glucose in your fat cells, particularly those around the abdomen. It's a bit like directing sugar to park itself in a car park that never gets full. These are your fat stores, and that's why they can be ever expanding when you're on a blood sugar roller coaster and you provoke that insulin secretion from the pancreas. So the last thing you want to do in order to lose weight is to snack many times throughout the day on carbohydrate foods. Things that you might not even recognize as particularly, not necessarily unhealthy, but they're high carbohydrate and they'll keep you on that insulin roller coaster. So things like breakfast biscuits, crackers, breads, dried fruit, even fruit, to be honest, that's still going to be causing that blood sugar spike. I had a lady just a couple of weeks ago. She put a continuous blood sugar monitor. So it's a little pin that you can put in your upper arm. And she was amazed at how how much her blood sugar spiked after just simply eating some grapes. We think of fruit as healthy, but it's still got to be broken down. It's still sugar that's got to be broken down. Okay, another big thing was to improve her sleep quality and quantity. And for that, we need to utilize nature and time spent outdoors. The vast majority of people I meet are nature deficient. The sun literally provides us with energy and is the master controller of our hormonal rhythms. So we need to learn how to harness it. And I'd say to everybody, get outdoors in the morning. That's a great first step. And then you want to avoid artificial light late at night, ironically. So when you see me get back on video at the end here, I'll have my blue blocking glasses on. And, that's going to at least lower the amount of blue light that's coming into my eyes. So this photo here, where Louise gave us, shared her story, this was taken over a year ago now. And I can tell you that Louisa has now lost more pounds since then. She has improved her health further, and now she can, she's returned to those exercise classes, those boot camps that she loves to do. And she's got the energy to keep up the ladies that are 10 years younger than her now. This is, really a long-term solution. It's not some quick weight loss that is, bound to rebound back in a few months once the willpower has elapsed. This creates real change in people because it resets their metabolism. The second thing we need to do is to reset your nervous system. Okay, and we're going to use a case study here of Graham. So Graham, he was under a lot of stress when he come to see us for a turnaround in his health. He'd been a yo-yo dieter for a long time. And we realized this because he hadn't worked on resetting his nervous system, among other things. Nervous system issues can result in a lot of anxiety for people. Some people even experience palpitations, sometimes high blood pressure. And so he was forced on overweight. He had poor eating habits, lots of snacking, fast eater. Again, up and down with mood and frustrated with his weight. So if you can master this slide, you can master your life. Whoever controls your nervous system literally controls our life. And we can be activated in this left side, this stress, fight or flight system, without even knowing it. And the reason being is that the triggers for the stress response are often unconscious. And our subconscious gets programmed between the ages of 0 and 8. So, a lot of people are using yoga and meditation, which are great ways to take ourselves into the parasympathetic, but they're just using that as a fire extinguisher every day, where, that's not necessarily what the full use of these modalities is. So, what happens when this fight or flight nervous system is turned on permanently? Well, 50% of the blood flow, when we're in a rest and digest state on the right here, we get 50% of blood flow goes through the liver and kidneys, our big detoxification organs that are paramount for repair and recuperation. When we're in a stress state, that goes down to 5%. So, we have to take ourselves into this parasympathetic state if you want to be able to allow your body to release weight. And we can actually measure this. So we use a HeartMath device. And I'd suggest anybody who's not heard of it, wants to have a look at it, they have got a free program at the moment, HeartMath Experience. Basically, it's a little device you can clip onto your earlobe, and you can track your heart rate variability, which is basically a measure of stress. So as we can see here at the top here, we're somebody who's in a really stressed state, whereas the bottom, we've got a more natural rhythm of someone who's in a rest and digest state. And you can see your progress improving over time with the HeartMath device. So to reset the nervous system, time in nature is hugely important. We're activating the right side of our brain when we're outdoors around nature. The heart rate variability training that uses the HeartMath device. We stopped all intense exercise for Graham initially and just focused on recovery. Eliminated the inflammatory foods from his diet. Sometimes requires really deep work on meditation and beliefs. Sleep is hugely important again. and we utilize adaptogenic herbs, which we're going to, again, talk about a little bit more later. So this was the testimonial that he left on the wall that's directly behind me. 2 stone 4 pounds in 7 weeks, sleeping well, feeling awesome, happy in my own skin for the first time in 20 years. You've just got to try it. So, you maybe have resonated with either of those 2 stories that I've mentioned this evening and realized that your health isn't quite where you want it to be. The weight isn't shifting and it's time for a new approach. Well, imagine now that you can transform into someone who's enjoying getting up every morning, feeling energized, whatever that means to you. Someone who's enjoying spending time with their husband or wife more because they've got a more positive outlook on life. Imagine having your friends comment on how much brighter your face looks and perhaps even that you look younger once we've started to heal your body. How great would that feel? Well, I'm here to tell you that's entirely possible for you. And, I'm here for the decisive action takers tonight, those that know that they want to achieve a certain goal, whether it's weight loss, reduction in blood pressure, or maybe even reduce your diabetes markers, or some other health goal that's personal to you. Those that want to work with someone who's taken many people in similar situations through a process before and who's going to hold you accountable during that process. So we're moving on to the program itself now. I'd love to know what your biggest takeaway so far has been. So again, if you'll type that into the chat box, what your biggest takeaway from tonight has been. Let's have a look. And with that being said, I hope everyone is going to be okay with me presenting the Metabolic Reset program, which I'm so excited about. We've got people in their 9th and 10th days at the moment, and they've released weight every day, and it's just keep their motivation going throughout the program. So does anybody here feel like they need a reset? Feel like they need a kind of a reboot, press Control Alt Delete on a computer. I mean, in the next 4 months, every single red blood cell in your body will have been reborn. That's how quickly they turn over. Your body is constantly repairing itself like that. And when you learn to give the signals to your body, that's when amazing things start to happen. I'm going to teach you that your body and the signals that we send to our bodies are separate things. It all starts with a detailed history. And some people feel more listened to in the 30 minutes that we'll spend together at the start of the program than they have done with any other healthcare practitioner before. We all know doctor's appointments, usually about 7 minutes, and they're staring at the screen the whole time. And that's important because your story is important. You're important. And that's where we often find where we're going to need to put most emphasis during the program for you. Community is paramount. And at a recent conference I attended about longevity and countries that are achieving lots of people living to like 100, one of the most common threads with all the speakers was community. And that's what unites us as human beings. And this sense of community with people going through the same program is just fantastic. I've seen it already within 10 days of people that have joined the program already. We're going to include coaching. We're going to even take performance to a higher level. We're going to go through all the lifestyle steps that you need, hormones, fasting. Data is really important, actually not just the scales themselves, but we're also going to measure, your circumferences of your upper arms, your waist, through the legs. And, there's some good data now on how those kind of measurements give you a huge advantage in terms of living healthier and longer, but also, being able to get health insurance, travel insurance, those kind of things. We're probably going to get to the stage where you're going to need to present some of those kind of markers in order to be able to get insured. We're going to talk about the microbiome. And we're going to talk about reward. It's hugely important to know how the brain works and how to reward yourself through this process as you start to release weight. So this isn't simply a diet. Most people going through this reset describe a transformation that has occurred in the way that they think, the way that they feel, the way that they act. We're creating permanent results by focusing on lifestyle changes. As always, we're looking at the underlying causes and not just the symptoms. The great thing about this is that it can be done by anybody. So, you can invite your friends and family that maybe are further afield to come and join us on this program because it's completely remotely serviced. It doesn't require any exercise because we want to lower inflammation. And we've got that important supportive network and group accountability. It's completely based on real food. There's no pills, meal replacements, shakes, or anything else that, just screams temporary weight loss. This is about a long-term health change in your body. So over the 10 weeks, you get 3 30-minute individual comprehensive consultations with me. You'll have daily emails to keep you on track, keep you motivated. I'll do a weekly live video, a group call, both on Zoom, and then it will be posted into the Facebook group. We'll have health tips and accountability in our private Facebook group. You have direct access to me throughout the time. We give you a metabolic support spray. You get the guide, so you know exactly what you need to be following. Recipe book. They're both electronic. On top of that, we're going to throw in 50 sachets of organic coffee or tea that's been infused with reishi. Reishi is an adaptogenic herb that aids detoxification, circulation, metabolism. It's got over 2,000 research articles supporting its benefits for human health, and yet most people haven't even heard of it. Our clients love the coffee and tea that's infused with reishi, and it complements the program fantastically well. We're also going to provide you with a forever gratitude journal. So gratitude is another way of starting to love your body again, and really appreciation just starts to rewire the way that your brain works. So we encourage everybody just to spend 3 minutes in the morning, every morning, and then another couple of minutes late at night, filling in their gratitude journal. It takes about 6 months or so to fill in this gratitude journal. But what I want it to be is that it's a forever gratitude journal. So once you've filled it in, let us know and we'll replace it for you. So you forever get the gratitude journal from us as being part of this, part of our community, part of our tribe. So all of that currently is priced at only £350 or 2 payments of £199. And for those of you that know, the cost of working with me individually, I've tried to make this as affordable as possible, people. It's less than a third of the cost of our full program. And it really covers all the fundamentals that you need in order to make some of the significant health improvements that we see our clients make. So your next steps, you need to commit yourself. We want people that are action takers, that are ready now to start and lose those 10 to 30 pounds in the next 6 weeks. It is a 10-week program. The last 4 weeks are maintenance. If you want to come on board, email me to confirm your place. We'll set up our first 30-minute consult to go through, your goals, for me to get to know you a little bit more. I know some of you on this call I know quite well already, but as I said, this is going to go far and wider to your friends, colleagues, and other people who want to come and join this program. Everything will be then sent to you via email or post because we're getting started next weekend. So the start date is the 2nd of May, and we've just got 9 spaces left for that start date. So I really hope that you've been inspired by this evening. I am going to unmute, put my video back on. Stop this share.